Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, it's been a while since I've had a rambling on subject, and this is one that is topical, I guess, and it's about comments, YouTube comments in general. Um, the main one, I guess, stems from I missed out on all the drama, but it was with Warthog. He left a comment, I think, explaining his medical condition. Like I said, I haven't even watched the video. I haven't read the comments or anything. But I did see an after effect of it where he was getting a lot of flack, or he was getting some flack, or something was going on where people were saying he wasn't commenting enough. And this also ties into another situation. Another person that I know, I won't mention their name, but they started a YouTube channel, and the comments, the negative comments they got almost drove them away, made them want to stop doing videos anymore. And what I'd like to say on that is if you start out any channel on any subject, at first you might think that it's going fine, you know, that everything is good. And then sooner or later you're going to get either a troll comment or a hateful comment. You know, there's a ways to tell people they're saying they're doing something wrong, and then there's a way to do it to try to embarrass them or make them feel bad, you know. And you will get that as a new YouTuber. Let me tell you that right now. You will get that. So when you start a YouTube channel, just be prepared. How are you going to handle comments? Now there are many different ways to handle this. If the person's intelligent, you can have a conversation with them. Maybe, you know, sometimes people leave a comment and it's just flippant. They're not thinking about it real hard, you know, they're just going on their emotions. They didn't like what you said, or they didn't like the way you said it, or the way you look, or something, you know, and they leave a comment that has more impact than it needed to be. You know, in other words, you got your point across, but then you went personal with it. You called them, you know, fat or something, you know, or you made it personal. So, I mean, if your point is good enough, you don't need to make a personal attack with it. You need to go with your argument. You know, if your argument is valid, then good. If you have to go to personal attack, then you've lost. In my opinion, you've lost a logical argument. Now you're just wanting to fight. You don't want to argue. You just want to win it no matter what the cost is. And like I said, in doing a channel, you have to think about how you're going to approach it. Now, when I had my Lock Sport channel, of course we would get negative comments all the time. You didn't teach me anything. You didn't talk enough. You talk too much. You don't know what you're doing. Blah blah blah. You know, there's just all kinds of stuff like that, and you develop a response to it. You know, depending on how you handle confrontation and everything. And I was able to handle those type of comments. You know, brush them off or ignore them, or you know, just don't worry about it. What got me was when someone within the community, within the Lock Sport community, who had always been leaving comments on my channel that ended with "my friend." You know, I realize this is cut and paste a lot of times, but still, if you call me your friend and you have a disagreement or a misunderstanding with me, well, a friend should communicate with another friend. Not the immediate response from him was, he not only unsubscribed from me, he sent me a message as if it was like a spam mail content. Please remove me from your subscription list and unsubscribe from me. And I was like, what is this a joke? You know, what's going on? And what had happened was I try to keep politics out of all my videos, but occasionally it'll affect you. And in this particular situation, it was when Trump had applied a 20% tariff on all Chinese imports. And all I said was, Now our crazy president, I said loco, but now our local president is going to cost us more. The days of the cheap Chinese locks are going to be over. They're going to start costing more. And that was it. I didn't go on a big ramble. I didn't mention the president's name, even though I did it. And the guy sent me back a comment, and he said, sex, religion, and politics should never be discussed in a lock-picking video. Well, I didn't talk about sex or religion, so it had to be politics. And what I realized was he was a Trump fan. Now, it's okay to be a Trump fan, but man, to polarize it so much that if someone even indirectly disparages your favorite person, you've got to unfriend them? Yeah, it's really crazy. Well, that's when I realized, I've realized this before, YouTube friends are not really friends a lot of times. Some are very good at faking being friends, but there are a lot of fakes out there. And you just have to take things with a grain of salt. Not all people that say they're your friend are your friend. A lot of people just say that because it makes them look good. But, anyway. That situation caused me to stop enjoying lock sport. I didn't like it anymore because before I thought, all right, there's kooks out there, but within our community, we've got a tight-knit community. We help each other out. We're friendly. We don't disparage each other. This is great. This is perfect. This is the best community in the world. And then that happened. And I realized, man, no community is immune from assholes. And that's what this person was. He was basically an asshole. I don't unsubscribe to people because they might have different political or religious or even sexual beliefs than I do. I don't care. That's called personal stuff. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing. Like if I'm doing flashlights and it happens to be a Russian flashlight and Russia's doing bad things and everything, I'm not necessarily going to bring that up in a video about a flashlight. I might mention that, well, it might be hard to get these things right now because of the parent country, did something wrong, and so you can no longer buy this product. But I wouldn't necessarily go on a rant about the war in Ukraine, So yeah, and that thing, that's usually good advice to stay away from those three subjects if you want to avoid controversy, But that doesn't mean you can never talk about something like that. Like if somebody, like in Warthog's case, where people say, "My prayers go out with you." All right, the Warthog is religious. These people are religious. That's good. That helps them. What's wrong with that? That's perfectly fine. That's between two people communicating. A person talking to Warthog and they can say whatever they want. If you get offended by that, you don't have to read the comments or you don't have to watch the video, So my suggestion to new channels out there is think about how you're going to handle your first troll. Your first troll or your first negative comment. Now, your first reaction, a lot of times, you're going to read it and you're going to want to type out a response. My suggestion would be to think about that. Think about your response more than the person that typed that out. Try to make it non-personal attack and attack the idea that they're going after. Attack the idea, not the person. And you'll win. You'll win your logical argument because if you win in a logical argument, what is the other person's recourse? Well, they're usually not going to admit. They're going to get it personal. They're going to say, "I'm going to hunt you down. I'm going to find you." Blah blah blah. Bully shit that really shouldn't occur. Now, this very same kind of situation happened to me with someone in our own community. Now, I'm not going to call this person out, even though I could, because they threatened to call me out and do all this other stuff. But it's just another example of you can't always trust people that you think are pillars of the community. Let me put it that way. Some of these people have another agenda. I don't know what it is, but they've got issues. Some people have real, I'm crazy. Some people have real mental issues out there. They're narcissists, they're liars, they're con men, and they just want you to think that they're your friend, but in reality, they want to use you in some way or another. And you just have to be aware of that. And I don't want to start any drama or any, controversy or anything like that. This is not a get views type of video. It's just me talking about situations that you might run into. And the advice I gave the person that was starting on their new channel was, don't let a troll destroy your enjoyment of something. If you enjoy doing a video, and you make a video and you enjoy it, and a person says, that's not really a, Warncliffe. That's a fake Warncliffe, or cheap Chinese junk. That's all it is. It's just cheap Chinese crap. You might as well be putting a pistol to somebody's head, because you're supporting slave labor and all this other stuff. You'll get those. You'll get those type of responses. And you have to think about what makes you mad about that situation. Well, for me, what it is a person is doing a judgment call. And a lot of this stuff is called virtue signaling. Now, yes, you may have a valid reason. And there are a lot of good reasons to not buy Chinese stuff. But to go on a channel that reviews Chinese knives and stuff like that, and to sit there and attack it, that's when I started getting logical with them. All right, what did you type this response on? An iPhone, right? That costs thousands of dollars. It's made in China. And yet here you are, picking on a $15 knife, because don't you see the hypocrisy, the irony of what you're trying to portray here? You rage against Chinese knives because it makes you look like, hey, buy American. Well, you want to be patriotic? Join the military, If you're that patriotic, do that. And a lot of people, hey, I've got no issues with buy American, I'm in America. I've served in the military. I love my country. But that doesn't mean that some other a knife made in some other country, just because you don't like the politics of that country, makes that a bad knife. In this situation, I try to avoid talking about the politics of the country, and I'm trying to concentrate more on the knife itself, and is it worth what you're paying for it. I really don't get so deep. I don't look at a bag of rice when I go out to buy it and say, oh, it's made in China. I'm not going to buy this. I'm going to look for country of origin on every label. I don't do that, We're getting away from, China is definitely losing its ability to be the manufacturing base of the world. And it got that way with our help. It's not like the Chinese overtook us and forced us to do this stuff. We passed these laws and regulations, most favorable trading nation status. We did that to help them out. Because why? Because Chinese labor was cheaper and easier, and they had the manufacturing stuff. There was collusion in the American market on a lot of this stuff. And it's an example of Intel that I used to work for, American-made company. Now we're having an issue with chips. Why are we having an issue with chips? Well, in 2007, Intel shut down a fab, at least one, in New Mexico, and moved manufacturing either to Taiwan or China. I believe it was China that they were doing it at the time. So, yeah, now all of a sudden, it's a big issue. Now we have the CHIPS Act, which I think is a good thing. Limit the export of technology to China and Russia, so they can't use this technology back against us. If they want to play in the free market game fairly, then fine. But communist countries, really, you can't trust them. They're gonna lie. They're gonna say whatever they want to say to make it sound good, and then soon as, if it's a treaty or whatever, as soon as it's to their advantage to violate it, they will. And a lot of people misunderstand the difference between communism, socialism, and capitalism. They just throw these words out, you're a communist. Communism is state ownership of the property, all right? You can't sit here and call America a communist state when they don't have state ownership of property. But anyway, I don't want to get into a bunch of politics. All I'm saying is there's going to be a lot of trolls out there. There's going to be a lot of bad comments, and it's all in how you handle it. You know, if it gets a situation where the person's obviously troll, I've had to do this. I don't like to do it, but I've had to do it on my channel. You can block them. You can block them from your channel, and what it does is they don't know they're blocked right away. I mean, they might figure it out after a while, but they can leave their comment. It's just not going to be seen by you or anybody on the channel. You know, it's just basically, it's going to be hidden. And that's kind of a passive way of getting rid of them. The other one is to let it be known that you're not going to put up with that type of comments. You know, give people a heads up. All right, if you want to come onto my channel, you can leave comments. You can leave comments that are, I don't, like in my situation, I don't want it to be a yes factory where everybody totally agrees with me. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. And you can leave a comment where you don't agree with me on something. But if you get to where it's a personal attack and you start throwing in a bunch of politics and religion and all this other stuff into it, man, you're pretty close to me ignoring you or blocking you. You know, I usually give people a warning. I try to, you know, if I'm having a conversation back and forth with them and remain civilized, they'll stay there. But usually people will get frustrated a lot of times if they can't win a logical argument. And their first thing that they want to do is attack you. And all I got to say is, that's not going to work on my channel. You're not going to tell me how to run my channel. You can run your own channel however you want to do it. Look at all this goodies they've got over here. It's going to have a big party. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say on that. Is as far as comments goes, the bigger your channel gets, the harder it is for you to respond to comments and see comments. I mean, I tried to get to all my comments. But then also, if you leave a comment on another video, YouTube won't always tell you about the response to your comment on somebody else's video. Like, you'll leave a comment on, let's say, for example, if I left a comment on Warthog's video, I won't always get the response back in a notification. You know, YouTube is flaky about that. So I've also had situations where people have said, I left a comment on this video and it got deleted. I didn't delete it. If I delete a comment, usually what's going to happen is I have mine set up to prevent porn links and stuff coming in there. So any links are going to be sent to a hold for review, and I don't always check that one that often. You know, I have to go through there and look at that every so often. So it'll catch hashtags and it'll catch links like that. So anybody trying to send a porn link or a hashtag, I've got also certain keywords that I have that it'll hold for review. The rest of that is YouTube. If YouTube deletes something, I have no control over that. If YouTube hides your comment, I don't even know if there's a comment that was there. You know, I can look. I look through YouTube Studio, the online thing, and then I also look through YouTube Studio, the app, for comments. And I do this usually at least once a week. I try to go through and search for any comments that I've missed on replying to. So if I don't get to your comment, it's either because I didn't see it or I haven't gotten to the comment yet. You know, I mean, it's either was hidden from me or I just haven't gotten to it. But I try to answer or respond to all comments that I get on my channel. And I don't know how long I'll be able to do that if I get more subscribers. But as it is right now, I'm able to maintain it. So that's all I want to say about comments, is just we need to try to think about how our comments are going to impact the people that we're saying. If you're a troll, yes, you're trying to get a reaction out of somebody. You want to see them get mad and everything. Uh, Trolls are not allowed here. If I catch you trolling, you're gone on my channel. So enjoy your little attempt at rage while it lasts, but it's not going to last long on my channel because I don't want that. I want people to come up here and enjoy themselves. If not enjoy themselves, maybe learn something, and if they don't learn something, maybe laugh, either at my mistakes or my attempts at humor, because we got way too much serious stuff going on in life right now. And yeah, this is a serious world, but we need to lighten up too. We need to chill out and enjoy our hobby as much as we can. If you like something and you enjoy it, don't let somebody else destroy your enjoyment when they're trying to make you mad, when they're trying to bait you. It's an obvious ploy that a lot of people, the pathetic thing about it is the people that do this, there's something wrong with them and they have no joy in their life. And the only thing that they can do, it's that saying, misery loves company. They don't want you happy because they're not happy. Well, you know what? They have an issue, not you. So let them deal with their issues somewhere else, preferably in a professional setting with the real professional help that they need, because mental illness is a serious problem, And sometimes this can be corrected because it's behavioral, or it might be a chemical imbalance, Bipolar people can't help it when they go crazy unless they've got medication. So I try to keep that in mind, that sometimes the people that are doing this might not have any control over the situation, but that doesn't mean that we should condone or allow it, no matter what it is. If you got Tourette's and you yell out obscenities and everything, well, sorry, you can't be around kids. Kids, yeah, they probably know more curse words than you do, but still, it's just the way it goes. So anyways, I just wanted to say that was a little ramble. Thank you for sticking around. I'm trying to get the April knife figured out, and I'm going to get that drawing done and everything, but thank you for sticking with my channel and listening to what I have to say, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day.